Mitch Marner's future with the Toronto Maple Leafs is up in the air, with growing speculation that he might leave Canada, but there's still one Canadian team he could stay with. In today's video, we'll break down all the latest updates and what this means for Marner's next move. If you enjoy staying up to date with NHL news and rumors, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. Mitch Marner's future uncertain. Only one Canadian team remains an option. Mitch Marner's future with the Toronto Maple Leafs remains uncertain, and while many assume he's preparing to leave Canada altogether, he has yet to completely rule out staying with a team north of the border. Following another disappointing playoff exit, significant changes are expected for the Maple Leafs this offseason, starting with the pivotal decision regarding Marner's next move. For weeks, speculation has pointed to Marner's departure from Toronto. Some reports have even suggested that he prefers to leave Canada entirely, likely due to the relentless media pressure he has faced since the beginning of his tenure with the Leafs. However, a recent update from David Pagnotta indicates that one Canadian team still has a shot. A potential return to Toronto is not completely off the table. Given how Marner has been treated in recent months, it's understandable to think that the chances of him re-signing with the Leafs are slim. Still, his desire to help his hometown team finally capture a Stanley Cup might be the only factor strong enough to keep him in Canada. Among the other teams reportedly on Marner's radar are the Florida Panthers, Vegas Golden Knights, Los Angeles Kings, and Anaheim Ducks, all located in warmer climates, which appears to be an appealing factor for the star forward. While many believe his time in Toronto is over, this new report suggests there is still a faint possibility he could stay. Until Marner officially signs with another team, a return to the Maple Leafs cannot be entirely ruled out. Mitch Marner's future with the Toronto Maple Leafs has been the subject of intense debate ever since the team's latest disappointing playoff exit. The Leafs, once again, fell short of expectations, prompting management to consider sweeping changes during this offseason. At the center of it all is Marner, a homegrown star, a cornerstone of the franchise, but also a player who has faced relentless scrutiny from fans and media alike. For weeks now, multiple reports and insider sources have pointed to a likely scenario: Marner leaving Toronto, and perhaps even leaving Canada entirely. His contract situation, combined with his perceived struggles in the postseason and the pressure cooker that is the Toronto media market, have led many to believe that a change of scenery could benefit both the player and the team. The pressure of playing in Toronto. It's impossible to talk about Mitch Marner's situation without addressing the unique challenges of playing in Toronto. The Maple Leafs are not just another NHL team. They're one of the most storied franchises in hockey history, with an enormous, passionate fan base and a media presence that is unparalleled in its intensity. Since being drafted by the Leafs, Marner has consistently been among their top performers during the regular season, but like many of his teammates, he has faced criticism for underwhelming playoff performances. The pressure to bring a Stanley Cup back to Toronto, something the team hasn't achieved since 1967, weighs heavily on all its star players. For Marner, a local boy from Markham, Ontario, the pressure is even greater. He grew up dreaming of wearing the blue and white, and while he's achieved that dream, it has come with a level of public and media attention that few other NHL players experience. Why leaving Canada makes sense for Marner. Given this backdrop, it's understandable why Marner might be considering leaving not just Toronto, but Canada altogether. Playing in a major Canadian market comes with constant media coverage, intense fan scrutiny, and limited privacy, all factors that can take a toll on a player's mental health and overall happiness. Additionally, the tax situation in some U.S. states is often more favorable for professional athletes, making destinations like Florida or Nevada financially attractive. Combine that with warmer weather, a more relaxed media environment, and the opportunity to start fresh, and it's easy to see why Marner would be intrigued by the possibility of moving south. Insiders have already linked him to several teams that fit this profile, including the Florida Panthers, Vegas Golden Knights, Los Angeles Kings, and Anaheim Ducks. Each of these franchises offers something different: competitive rosters, attractive locations, and less media pressure than what he currently faces in Toronto. But one Canadian team remains an option. Despite all this speculation about Marner leaving Canada, a new report from NHL insider David Pagnotta has revealed that there's still one Canadian team Marner is considering, and that team is, surprisingly, the Toronto Maple Leafs themselves. While many had assumed that Marner had mentally checked out of Toronto, Pagnotta's report suggests that the door remains at least slightly ajar for a return. Marner reportedly still feels a strong connection to his hometown team, and may be reluctant to give up on the goal of helping the Leafs win their first Stanley Cup in over half a century. However, the chances of that happening appear slim. The way Marner has been treated by sections of the fanbase and media over the past year, especially following Toronto's early playoff exit, has left a mark. According to some sources, he's grown weary of being the scapegoat for the team's failures, a role he never asked for, but one he has undeniably filled in the eyes of many critics. Why staying in Toronto is still on the table. So why hasn't Marner completely ruled out staying in Toronto? For one, his contract includes a no-movement clause, giving him significant control over where he ends up next season. Unlike many players who can be traded without their consent, Marner holds the power to accept or reject any potential deal. That means if the Leafs want to move him, they'll need his approval. Additionally, there's the emotional factor. Marner grew up watching the Leafs, dreaming of leading them to a Stanley Cup. For a player so deeply connected to his hometown, walking away isn't as simple as just signing a contract somewhere else. Moreover, there are reports suggesting that Maple Leafs management hasn't entirely closed the door on trying to retain Marner. While trading him would free up significant salary cap space and potentially bring in new assets to shake up the core, it also carries substantial risk. Marner is one of the most dynamic forwards in the NHL, capable of producing elite offensive numbers and driving play at both ends of the ice. Potential landing spots, the favorites outside of Canada. If Marner does decide to leave Toronto and Canada, there are several clear frontrunners for his services. The Florida Panthers have emerged as a prime candidate, thanks to their competitive roster, attractive location, and favorable tax environment. Florida has built a strong team in recent years, making deep playoff runs, and adding a player like Marner could make them even more dangerous. The Vegas Golden Knights are another intriguing option. Known for their aggressive approach to roster construction, Vegas has never shied away from acquiring big-name players. With their winning culture, passionate fanbase, and, of course, the appeal of Las Vegas itself, it's easy to see why Marner might have them on his shortlist. The Los Angeles Kings and Anaheim Ducks are also reportedly on Marner's radar. Los Angeles offers a mix of a big market with less intense media scrutiny compared to Toronto, while Anaheim is in the midst of a rebuild but could offer Marner a leading role and a long-term vision. What's next for Marner and the Maple Leafs? As the offseason progresses, the Maple Leafs will have to make some tough decisions. The organization is reportedly open to reshaping its core, which could mean parting ways with one or more of its star forwards. However, moving Marner won't be easy, given his contract situation and the complex emotional factors involved. For Marner, the coming weeks will be crucial. He'll need to weigh his desire to stay close to home and finish what he started in Toronto against the potential benefits of a fresh start in a new market. At this point, nothing is set in stone. While the prevailing belief is that Marner's days as a Maple Leaf are numbered, insiders caution against making any definitive predictions. Until he signs a new contract, whether in Toronto, elsewhere in Canada, or south of the border, his future remains a topic of speculation. Final thoughts. Mitch Marner's situation encapsulates the challenges faced by modern NHL stars, especially those playing in Canadian markets. The balance between personal happiness, professional ambition, and loyalty to a hometown team is delicate and deeply personal. Whether Marner chooses to stay and continue chasing a Stanley Cup with the Maple Leafs or decides that a new chapter elsewhere is best for his career, one thing is certain: the hockey world will be watching closely. So, what do you think? Should Mitch Marner stay in Toronto and finish what he started, or is it time for him to seek a new opportunity elsewhere? Let us know in the comments. And again, if you enjoyed this breakdown and want more NHL news, rumors, and analysis, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for all the latest updates.